Whoa! Lou Elizondo just said that the fascist dictator of Italy had a UFO and it wound up in U.S. possession. Okay, this is huge. Get in here. This is Cosmic Road, where I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and as I'm going through the story, please comment below and let me know what you think. Also, if you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a channel member. In the first line of the description below, there are two options. Tier 2 gets you exclusive videos. You can also simply leave a tip in the tip jar with the Super Thanks feature below. Now moving on to the story. I came across this rumor years ago that Marconi and Mussolini had a UFO and were working on it. But now Lou Elizondo has come out saying that is the case. And in fact that the US now has that very vehicle. I think the reason that he is open about this and that he's able to talk about this is because this case has been in the public purview for a little while. And so he can't talk about the other craft that we have, but he can talk about this one because there's actually public records to support this event and this chain of events. Okay, here's what Lou had to say.
I kind of gave a few hints before, but Roswell may not have been the first event, and well known. I mean, there's been some reporting internationally as well that there have been some crashed vehicles, and they were obtained by local authorities, and there was some scientific study done on them. I want to be very careful not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I've seen personally some documentation that's very compelling from a particular foreign country where they had a recovery of a vehicle, and they had some countries conducting scientific analysis on it, and after World War II, allegedly, parts of that vehicle were brought to the United States.
Yeah. I think I know what country that was. It was a South American country, I think. Maybe Brazil. Damn it! Argentina. I'm not sure. I think it's
Italy. Italy.
Yeah, it was Italy.
Yeah, that's as it was explained to me. I saw some documentation. Look, I don't want to get too much into the, conspiracy side of the house. There is some documentation that has been validated that was from Mussolini himself, and it's authentic. It's been proven to be authentic. The documentation, so certainly interesting.
And this was Mussolini, so this could have been pre-Second War or during Second War. So it is pre-Roswell. Well, guys, there's something you can look into.
Fascinating, right? So Mussolini gets the UFO and somehow it winds up in the possession of the US. Well, I've heard about this rumor before, so I did a little digging to refresh my memory. I wasn't able to find all the information that I had previously uncovered, but here is part of it. I'm going to read from a Reddit post, and this is more or less conforms to the information I've previously uncovered. It's the 13th of June, 1933, when a mysterious flying craft crashes near Lake Maggiore, I can't pronounce that, Maggiore, in northern Italy. The remains of the objects as well as its occupants were recovered by the military and brought to an SIAI Marchetti warehouse near Varese, and everything was secreted. And I'm going to get some of the pronunciation wrong on this, just a heads up. The object was described as having a cylindrical shape with a narrowing at the base and had an opening on the side emitting red and white lights. The two occupants were 1.8 meters tall, that's 5 foot 11 inches, had blonde hair and clear eyes, and were put in a formalin to be preserved. So they were dead. First studies hinted at a German secret project, but the technology seemed way too advanced and the extraterrestrial hypothesis was put forward. So we're talking about the Nordics, one supposes. A very common race of alien or non-human that people see, are these Nordic-looking beings with the blonde hair, usually, although they actually come in different races, believe it or not. But they're called Nordics, and they're typically, depicted as having blonde hair and blue eyes or gray eyes. And anyway, that's the whole thing. But whatever. Moving on. At this point, Mussolini created a special task force, the Gabinetto RS-33, comprised of OVRA agents and scientists led by Guglielmo Marconi. I'm butchering that, but yeah, he's the Nobel scientist. He was the inventor of the radio, according to this. Of course, I think we know the real inventor of the radio was Tesla. But moving on. So he created a special task force led by Marconi, the inventor of the radio, in order to study and reverse engineer the craft. They operated from the La Sapienza University in Rome and also studied other UFO sightings of the period over Italy. In 1941, they shared their studies with the German Wunderwaffen program, which started developing their own version, the V7. After the war ended in 1945, the Allied command seized everything and sent it to the USA to be studied. Some documents confirming the ordeal were leaked by a whistleblower in 1996, and after being examined by an expert, they were deemed as authentic. Many refused this evaluation as the methods weren't clear. And so I can't comment on that. But Luis Elizondo is publicly confirming this event and saying that basically all this is checks out, and that the U.S. Has this craft now. Do we also have the occupants? We seem to have multiple other alien bodies, so one assumes this. These bodies are in U.S. custody as well. Whether that's at Wright-Patterson or Area 51 or somewhere else altogether is unclear. Another wrinkle is that, and this is some of the information I wasn't able to find, is the I think Marconi is associated with some sort of company, some sort of large company in Italy, and the rumor is that company had some of this technology and was reverse engineering it, and it went on to become a big part of their company and what they were putting out. But I've lost the details on that, so I apologize. If anybody knows more about that, please let me know in the comments below, because it could be relevant to today if that company is still extant. But yeah, it's fascinating that Luis Elizondo would admit to this. And if he's admitting to this because it's, these documents are out there and there's some authentication of these documents, if he's able to admit to that because this is public record now, what isn't he able to talk about? That's, obviously the intriguing part, right? What do we have? What are we doing? I've made several videos lately about the apparent war on UFOs, about how we are shooting at UFOs. So I don't know how much of that Lou knows, but I assume that he knows something. I've also made a video about how we seem to be working with the beings at a pretty high level. The Terry Lovelace story, there were 50 military guys aboard a UFO interacting with the beings. That's a lot of military guys to be on a spaceship. That doesn't necessarily indicate that the secret space program is real, but it definitely leans in that direction, because that's a lot of military involvement aboard a spaceship. So, again, that doesn't equate to a secret space program, but, it leans that way. But what about the Nordics? Getting back to the case at hand. The Nordics are often associated with the Germans in World War II, they're not as associated with Mussolini. Some say the Nordics were in contact with Maria Orsic of the Vril Society. Some even say that she vanished at the end of the war and went to live with them, and that she's still there, or maybe she is back now. All of that stuff is really hard to confirm. I can't really comment too much on that. But the Vril Society plays a big part in the German connection to the beings, or the narrative, or the various narratives about the German connection to the beings in World War II. There's a lot more to say about that, but that's a different video or a whole series of videos. And I don't really want to open that can of worms, honestly. But what do you think about this case? Where are the bodies of those beings now? Does the U.S. have them? Does Italy still have them? If the Allied powers, acquired these specimens in this ship, did they divvy up the spoils? Did some of it go to England or some of it go to the Soviets and is now, controlled by Russia? What happened to this stuff? But at the very least, Luis Elizondo confirms that the U.S. has the ship. That's important because this happened before Roswell. And, it's one of the missing pieces in the development of the control group and the Men in Black and, that whole realm. Personally, my research has convinced me that the Men in Black existed even before this event. Or at least the government's interest in the phenomenon existed before this event, and they were covering stuff up long before the Second World War. But that's just me. What do you think? And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. Please consider becoming a channel member to support the channel so I can make the best videos I know how and spend more time on Cosmic Road. In the first line of the description, you'll see a link where you can become a channel member and receive exclusive access and videos. Or you can simply leave a tip in the tip jar with the Super Thanks feature below. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road.